Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another exciting Daily December. This is Daily December 2015, day 13. I think maybe if I do it this way, I don't know. The camera flips things. It's annoying and confusing. Um, yeah, I'm actually feeling a little bit better today. However, still not feeling great, and I still have a ton of stuff I got to get done. Um, So today, to take my mind off of the just pile of shit that needs to get done, I want to talk about one of the biggest accomplishments I have made in the past, I don't know, few days at least, which is I beat Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Um, it was intense. For those of you who don't know, Dark Souls, the Souls series in general, uh, is very well known for its very high difficulty, is what people think about it. Uh, in all actuality, it's not that they're incredibly difficult games, it's that they're action games that are very strategic, and if you make a wrong move, you're punished. Um, and a lot of times, what people think of is they go into an action game and they think of things like Shadows of Mordor or the Batman Arkham Knight, where you go in, you can just run into a group of enemies, punch and kick the crap out of them and do well. Or if you see a lone enemy, you can just dispatch them really quickly. And that's not how it works in the Souls games in general. They are uh, action RPGs, meaning you control the character and they can dodge and swing their swords and stuff like that. And so that's how it works. However, um, the way that they're set up is they're not designed to be that balls to the wall, go in and just destroy everything as quickly as possible kind of action game. They're designed to be relatively realistic to a point where when you swing a sword, you have wind up and then follow through. And if you miss, there's a chance that someone can counterattack you. And in general, the monsters that you fight hit hard. Um, so because of that, you have to be very careful when you're wandering through, especially if you're in an area you've never been before. You have to walk very carefully. You have to really be aware of your surroundings, because all of that can come and bite you in the ass. Um, so yeah, um, because of that, it's considered a very difficult game because it's very very strategic, and again, it's very punishing if you do something wrong. Um, I got Scholar of the First Sin during the summer Steam sale because it was on sale, and I really enjoyed Dark Souls 1. I thought it was absolutely a blast, and I liked everything I'd read about Dark Souls 2. The fact that I'm a huge fan of dual wielding in general. Um, Someone just tweeted me. Uh, and so they improved dual wielding and they improved the combat system and everything like that. And it was a very good game. And so I saw it on sale. I picked it up, and I am super super happy that I did. I made it when I finished the game the first time. I think I had one character that I deleted because I built him wrong. Um, and I have Aether was the one that I actually beat it on, who's based on the D&D character I play uh, for at conventions and things like that. So yeah, um, so that was really really fun and cool. And yeah, he was a double. He was a puncher. Like he had two cestises, if that's how you say it uh, correctly, and they're all upgraded, and he's in like black leather armor and has like a hood and everything. Like I built him to be my D&D character. The only thing he can't do, simply because you can't do it in Dark Souls, is one of the defining features of Aether, the D&D character, is he has this 60-foot teleport between shadows, uh, and the ability to stun his opponents. which I can't do in Dark Souls because they don't have those abilities. Um, but yeah, so it was really, really exciting. So, like I said, I had 62 hours when I beat the game. It took me 62 hours to beat this game the first time. And like I said, I think Aether was technically, I think my third or fourth character out of like a grand of all the different characters that I built and tried to get this thing to work with. Um, he, yeah, it took me quite a few times, and I loved every second of it. I died over and over and over and over and over again because that's how Dark Souls works. And I got frustrated at a lot of different points. There's actually quite a few bosses that I didn't complete because they weren't uh, necessary to the game. There's this one boss that I got to and I could never beat him. He was basically just this giant uh, dog thing that had these little other dogs that if they bit you, I think it only took like 2 bites and you would get poisoned and then your health would be gone. Like it was just instant. If you got poisoned, you were done. So I never beat him, and I didn't realize that I hadn't done any of the DLC content before I started my New Game Plus. So yeah, I didn't do any of the Kings from the DLC content. So other than that, though, I made it through the main story. I started a new game because basically what happens is when you finish the game, you can go back to the primary bonfire uh, and you can say start it over from the beginning and you start New Game Plus and the monsters are tougher. There's a lot of changes that happen, kind of like the second quest in the original Legend of Zelda. The thing that tripped me up first, because I went and before I went and upgraded everything that I had to the highest stats I could possibly get them. Um, and so I upgraded everything, and what it is was one of the weapons I used because it hit multiple enemies was a whip, a thorn whip. And you can dual wield whips, and I like whips in general. I have another D&D character I built specifically. He's a hunter that uses dual whips just because it's a cool idea. And so what ended up happening is I went and I bought another whip, and I upgraded it to the max, and I put fire damage on it, so it's a flaming whip, and then I have this bleeding whip. And yeah, it's been really, really cool. Uh, and so yeah, I started over and I equipped my dual whips. And in the first area, what normally happens in like a regular new game is you start in this little pavilion and then you run forward and you go to this house, and that's when you actually get to pick your character class and everything like that. That's not how it works in New Game Plus. I walked off the platform and there was this dude standing there with a falcon on his arm. I'm like, okay, did they add new? And without realizing it, like without me understanding what was going on, he does this, and the falcon comes off and hits me and takes off like a third of my hit points. And then I get hit from behind by a couple of his buddies, and I'm dead instantly. Uh, and yeah, I find out that I'm surrounded like this little area. I am surrounded by like 4 or 5 of these falconers that didn't exist in the first game because at this point in the first game you had no weapons, and so I had to go around and it killed me about 3 or 4 times before I finally got the idea of how this is supposed to work. So I had to go around killing them and yeah, it's really it's a fun game. So yes, for those people that claim that it's just unfair or it's just too tough. It's not tough. It's very strategic, and it's an absolute blast to play. I had so much fun playing it. I'm playing a New Game Plus. I have 2 other characters that I've built, again based on D&D characters that I play, which is really sad, but that's just how it works. And so yeah, I have just been having so much fun with the characters in general, and just the game itself is an absolute blast. So yeah. Anyway, that's all for me today. If you haven't tried any of the Souls games, Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin, It's on Steam. The winter sale is coming up in a couple weeks. You can probably get it for super cheap. It is definitely worth the investment. I think I paid like 25 bucks for it. And again, I got 62 hours out of my first playthrough, and I'm not done with the game because I have other character builds that I want to try. Um, so, yeah, um, it's definitely worth the money. Um, uh, so yeah, that's all for me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another Daily December. All right, bye bye.